let's talk a little, like skate golf. I want to find out about this because you guys did this at Gen Con, I think, maybe in other conventions.
Yep.
But just this is something I think that if I wasn't sold already, I've never heard of, like, short of, like, say a Blood Bowl, which is like, Warhammer 40k football, or it. You don't hear something that's so simple just to be in a board game, especially something that is like incredibly action oriented and violent as what this game is seeming to be. It's like, oh, let's stop slaughtering this creature here and play golf. So how did you guys think about that, and would that exactly be played? And would that mean if you're playing golf, would that also mean you could play football, you could play tennis, you could do other things besides that? Yeah. What are your thoughts about that?
I can tackle that one. Mm-hmm. So as I've been working on the mechanics and things, I've been listening to lots of different podcasts on reviewing games, especially board games and different ideas. And one of them was talking about golf. And, I went to play Time Strike at Nick's house one night with a friend of mine. And, after we got done our session, I was like, I have this idea that I kind of came up with today. And I can go into both the mechanics and everything at the same time. So you're not using anything from Time Strike as far as, like, components. You're just using the source board. You set up rivers, you set up trees. I sent a picture in the ToV podcast of the custom board I did with all the static grass, if you want to reference that. But essentially you have the tee box, you have cart path, water, trees, bunkers, and then the putting green. And the way you play is you'll pick a starting point on the tee box, and from there you will pick a club. Now with the Source Golf set, you are going to get a range of dice. You're going to get D20, D12,
D8,
D6, and D4.
Correct.
And the way you think about these clubs these dice they're your clubs. So if you're familiar with golf, you have like a driver for your very long shots. You have a putter when you're really close, and all the different things in between. So you're going to pick your club to start. You're going to roll your dice, and it's going to say 13. So the way you can think about that is like, okay, I'm going to travel 13 hexes. But then there's another layer of rolling that really makes it even more fun, is that you're going to take 13 D6 dice and you're going to throw them. So this is a big dice rolling game. So if you get a driver and you roll a 20, you're rolling a lot of dice. From there, you're going to separate all your dice into ones, sixes, and then all the dice in between. And essentially, it's going to show you how your ball arcs to the left, how your ball goes straight, and how your ball arcs to the right. Now, depending on which way you have the choice, you want to hit it first, you'll kind of see your ball go, let's say you rolled 3 ones, you're going to go 3 hexes over. If you rolled a bunch of anything between 2 and 5, you're going to go straight. And then you rolled a couple sixes, and it's going to come back around, kind of like a normal golf arc swing. And then depending on where you land, if you go through trees, there's a different mechanic. If you land into water, you're going to lose your ball. If you land in a bunker, or you try to hit out of a bunker, you're going to have to use a higher club because it's going to take more power to get out of there. And and then the goal is to, as of golf, get into the cup in as few strokes as possible. And we literally came up with the mechanics in one night, and we had such a good time doing it. We're just like, this is how simple it is to use the source system to build anything.
Okay.
And we showed the rest of the team, and everyone's like, oh, yeah, this is such an easy, fun game. Let's go. And, so all we did was we have dice, we have little golf balls that have little arrows on it, and then we have a flag. And it's literally this many components besides, a bit of the dice for a game. And the fun part about it is you build the map, you build your courses. Think of it like the crazy mini golf stuff. It's like, oh, well, let's build it high. Let's put the hole on top of a mountain and surrounded by lava. Or you can have a simple golf path. something. And then you could do rounds. You could do, oh well, let's do 3 rounds on this, and then build a new one and do 3 rounds, and then you can have dog hook lefts and right, and because you can really build out the map however you want, so you can have it in all sorts of different ways. And it's just a super simple system that shows off the power again of what you can do with Source. And your imagination, because when we were doing at Gen Con, the funny part is
40 with every tile you can imagine.
Yeah. Yeah, you could build the biggest golf map ever. But the funny part about Gen Con is I was running Time Strike, and Shaper and everybody else was pitching in running Source Golf. And people that were there were making their own mechanics. They were coming up with their own scenarios, like, oh, what if you did this, or what if you did that? And I was just like, that's what we want. So it was a simple idea that we came up with one night. Literally, the rules have changed that much since that night, and it's just a fun little rolling game. It's really quick. You're done a hole in 5 minutes, and then you can play 18. And you keep your scores. And
the thing I love to expand on just that is when you have all the tiles in front of you, your imagination just runs.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that, especially with Chris here, we've come up with tons and tons of games that might work on this. And your imagination just runs and runs and runs. It's like, what if I did this? What if I made a game like this? What if and I had sitting down with some friends, and I just said, hey, come up with something. And we just sat there and drank for 4 hours, played with tiles, came up with a game. I mean, that's all you need to do. And it applies to every single one of us.
Drinking optional.
Drinking optional. That's very true. I'm from the great state of Wisconsin.
You don't need that for Source. Does not come with it.
It does not come with it, no.
But you just get this endless ingenuity you can have with it. And yeah, if you want to play tennis, make a tennis game. Go for it. Just come up with rules. And then share them with people, and maybe some other people will love them. Maybe they won't. But you had fun, and that's really all that matters. And so that's the thing I love most about this system is we've got all the tiles. They're there for you. Be creative.
Yeah. To mention, sorry, Chris. To you, Teo, like you can really ask any question and say, well, what about this? What about that? And you say football, tennis. Mm-hmm. Why not? That's what we always ask. Why not? Why wouldn't it work? Why wouldn't it work? There's no reason. Just figure out how it works with Source. So when you ask a question, can you do that? We're going to say, yes, you absolutely can do that. Why not? Why wouldn't you?
My mind is racing with ideas for Time Strike tennis right now. Use your Time Strike characters.
It's like Mario Tennis. Yeah.
Like Mario Tennis.
With area effect explosions and destroying the map while you play. That's the coolest idea ever.
So, I was playing the Blood Bowl and have a destructive map.
With Frisbee golf, and that could be a different way of doing golf, because, I mean...
Yeah.
Yeah, I do Frisbee golf with my son often. And
okay, there you go.